AllBall TV.
They scared, but I'm not.
They don't like comentario.
Y suscribe.
Oh yeah.
See the red light?
Oh yeah. The red light.
Put your glasses back on.
It might be red light, red fight for you fools. Hold on a second. No.
Let's back on.
No, take your glasses off. There's only one way to start every single show until it's game time. You know what time it is.
Won't go. Hartenstein the rebound. Hartenstein gets it out to Anunoby. DiVincenzo a three. Bang! Bang!
When you hear that double bang from Mike Breen, that's you know you did something good, baby. That double bang from our own Mike Breen. Good mustard jumpsuit, Mello. I see it. Good mustard suit.
Horrible, Mello.
Right now.
Good fit, Mello. I got your back, baby. Good fit.
Yeah, DMX in the background. Fabian PerspecTV, you heard it. Expected, so accepted. They don't like comentario y suscribe. My son can't even do that. My son is such a gringo, he can't do that. Are we live?
Big Flea in the building, man. Corporate Flea today, y'all. Y'all know what it is. Corporate Flea.
Big Danny Barry in the building.
DB, what up, baby?
Everybody.
DB, hey DB. Fabian tried to sneak this nasty ass V-neck on without me saying something. He tried to sneak it on, but it's all right.
I'm not gonna lie.
We're gonna let him make
it. It's a Hill figure joint, and
and
I went caught the Calvin Klein. They don't make them like before, man. I had these they stopped making my Calvin Klein. Nobody knows about this. Calvin Klein ribbed V-necks.
Ribbed V. This nigga's a V-neck connoisseur.
Yo, no, listen, just a family show. We trying to get this money, please.
This is a family.
You tried to flag us the other day. I don't know what YouTube was on, but I'm on to you, YouTube. Stop playing with me.
Definitely something Flea said. I'm sorry, y'all. Sorry.
That's all of us. I don't even know who. Like, let us know who's the craziest, because you know Julius will say it's you.
Big Jew, nephew.
He's voting you number one.
Big
you heard it right there. We playing that. I've seen that. I rewatched the game too.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot we could do. I want to get into that tomorrow, though, on tomorrow's show afternoon.
Okay. We'll address that tomorrow.
Definitely. Today, first topic. I want to get into these punks who voted Tom Thibodeau.
Punks?
These chumps. They voted Tom Thibodeau like the least. You saw the voting, the coach they least like to play for. We got into it somewhat the other day. Number one is Thibodeau. Number two was Doc Rivers. I thought we would all agree to that. Piece of Disciple Harmony was going on. Boogie down, BX in the building.
Peace, y'all.
Do I got it up here? But for me, it's like, how often do we have to hear that? What are they? Why are they saying that he's the least likely coach they want to play for, or the least voted coach, or whatever? How you say that? The players vote Knicks, Tom Thibodeau, Bucks, Rivers as head coach they least want to play for.
Well, it's these goofy anonymous surveys that whoever goes around doing them, put a name on it, man. Put a name on it. Only way they're gonna answer these is if they get on record and say this is off the record, right? Or this is anonymous, right? But fact still remains, Thibodeau is one of the guys that comes from the old guard, right? He's still one of those coaches that comes from an old guard. He's still one of those coaches that believes in practicing hard. He's still one of those coaches that believes in taking advantage of shoot around. When we get to shoot around, we need to do the necessary things to get ready for the game tonight. You know what I'm saying? And, a lot of these guys have adopted the, get to shoot around and just really do walkthroughs, man. 20, 30, 40 years ago, if you got to a shoot around in the NBA, it was full on sweat. Like you were sweating for an hour. Shoot arounds are short, but they want to go over the scouting report. They want to go over the game plan, and they want to get a good lather up. And at this point now, guys just show up to shoot around so they don't get fined. right? And Tibbs is one of those guys that takes advantage of every moment. We're talking about a guy who is married to the game of basketball. This guy has no wife. There's this infamous story of him turning down a woman because of his coaching career. Like, there's an infamous story. I don't want to misquote it, so go out there and Google it. You'll find it. But it just goes to show how dedicated Tibbs is to the game. And so I can't be mad at a guy like that, who's dedicated to the game, who wants his players to be dedicated just as much. So that bad rap that Tibbs gets from, overworking his players, guys play too many minutes, all this kind of stuff, I think it's overblown. If you talk to the quality guys, and I'm talking about perennial all-stars, guys that have seen a lot of success in this league, they will tell you, I loved playing for Tibbs. Jimmy Butler, Derrick Rose, Taj Gibson, Joakim Noah. The list goes on, man. Obviously, that whole Boston squad where he was the defensive coordinator, Kevin Garnett, Paul Pierce, Rondo, Perkins, all of these people swear by Tom Thibodeau. And it's no surprise that Tibbs and Doc Rivers, who actually coached together at one time, are the two guys that were voted least likely that players want to play for. So I think it's all to do with nothing. If you are dedicated to this game of basketball, especially on a professional level, when he's asking you to give just as much effort on the defensive end as you give on the offensive end, I don't think that should be a guy that gets such a bad rap, right? He takes the game serious. I think over time, he has become more of a player's coach, right? You hear how Josh Hart talks about this guy. You hear how Dante DiVincenzo talks about this guy. Obviously, Brunson has a little bit of bias, but every guy on the roster right now, any guy that's come from a different situation, Julius Randle, like, lauds over Tom Thibodeau. So I think it's all to do with nothing. But I need you to jump in here because I've been going on and on and on about Tibbs. I could do that forever.
It just hit me that Doc Rivers and Tom Thibodeau were from the same Boston tree that won the championship. And it's interesting that 2008, ever since then, 16 years later, these are the two most hated coaches by players in the league. And it was like Doc Rivers, I would have thought Doc Rivers got that number. If you asking fans, Doc Rivers getting 90%. I don't think unless people start voting for their own coach, like the Golden State Warriors fans, they're gonna go nuts about Steve Kerr, and they're gonna say he's the worst coach of all time. Caller saying that people hate Boston.
They do, caller.
But I get all the criticism of him. I did want to point to when Karl-Anthony Towns has been, like, I guess, the most vocal about Tom Thibodeau. I don't remember anybody else being more vocal and just the snide commentary. I'm trying to be nice.
Cat is also a guy who's had this stigma attached to him that he's soft from the day he walked into the NBA. So just wanted to put that out there. Do I believe he's soft? Not anymore. Did I once believe that he was a soft player? Yes. So it doesn't surprise me that a guy that has this stigma attached to him that he's soft is so vocal about not wanting to play for Tom Thibodeau. But anyway.
I think he is soft. I think when he goes left and the way he finishes with his right hand is nasty. I think for him to be he was a #1 pick, rookie of the year. Him and Anthony Davis might be the two most disappointing players in the league for me, just in general. 6'10" above, and I thought they could do it all. And I think it's the motor. I know they've gone through they're both injury prone, but mentality wise, and I see, AD right now, he's going through it with the coach. He doesn't like that coach whatsoever, Darvin Ham.
1,000%. Like the situation. Ham is gone after this shit. No matter what happens.
They're saying no. They're reporting that no matter what happens, they're keeping him. But
gone. Pipe.
Think he's going. I think it's
gone, bro. Come on, Fabian. We've seen this song and dance. We've seen this movie before. This is probably the first time I've ever seen Anthony Davis actually publicly disappointed or not in line with who's coaching. First time I've ever seen him, you can take his comments and direct them specifically at Darvin Ham. When you start talking about we don't know what we're doing out there on offense and defense, he said at points we don't even know what we're doing. You're talking about Anthony Davis, LeBron James, and three other professionals. So forget like I'm not reducing them to just having no names, but at this point it don't even matter. You're saying that the 5 professionals on the Los Angeles Lakers have no clue what they're doing in certain junctures of the game on offense and defense. That's a problem with Anthony Davis and LeBron James on the floor. That's a problem. And
well, to bring it back to Tibbs, I don't hear people talking like that about Tibbs ever.
No.
Ever. You just said we just pulled up the article where he said he canceled his wedding to go. Listen, if my girl don't understand, it's not happening.
Yep.
A lot of these guys are professional that way, and they want their players to be the same way. I got this guy up here. Shout out to Knicks Fan TV. They interviewed Brian. I hope I don't get his. Let me just click on his name. Brian Geltziler, NBA radio guy or Knicks radio guy, spoke on the Knicks, Tom Thibodeau specifically, and why players don't want to play for him or speaking up for him, basically.
Okay. Want to work as hard as they need to work. Because if you do want to meet the work ethic that Tom demands of you, he will make you a better player and he will make you get paid. The only big contract Nate Robinson ever got in his career, it came after he filled in for Derrick Rose on the Bulls. Tom got DJ Augustine paid. If you buy in to what Tom is selling, he will get you paid. And there's 4 guys on this Knicks team this year that rolled up their sleeves and bought into what Tom was selling. And they're 4 guys that improved as much as anybody in the league as individual players. Obviously, Isaiah Hartenstein's one of them. Josh Hart's another one who had a increased offensive role with Randall out, and I thought excelled in it. Dante DiVincenzo to a similar extent, but he became a 3-point specialist. And then the last one, who hasn't been here that long, is Precious Achiuwa. Yeah. Precious Achiuwa has had the best stretch of his career since he's come to the Knicks. There's guys that don't want to work hard on improving their game, but if you don't want to work hard on improving your game, Tom Thibodeau's your worst nightmare.
So it goes back to what you've always said. This guy's gotten people paid. Like I know AllBall says, or Brunson has gotten people paid. Dog, Julius Randle. That's a total turn. We did not expect after being drafted top 10 and then coming to the Knicks after the Pelicans run. We didn't expect this from him, all NBA type. I know, there's a lot of criticism on him as a Knicks fan, but 2-time all NBA. As a franchise guy, it was just. We didn't think playoff. We didn't think getting out of the first round, and they were missing Mitchell Robinson. You kidding me? Mitchell Robinson, Precious Achiuwa, and Hartenstein, Joakim Noah, Taj Gibson. That big man, he's getting a lot of big men paid. That in an era where these guys are not supposed to exist. He's supposed to exist in this era. Hartenstein and Mitchell Robinson.
Luol Deng is a multiple-time All-Star under Tom Thibodeau.
Well, hold on. Luol Deng that's like he was still a special athlete, no?
Luol was a great player. So I'm not going to credit his career to be fully attached to Tibbs. What I'm saying though is that he squeezed everything he could get out of Luol Deng to make him a 2-time All-Star, I believe, 2 times. Derrick Rose, one of the only point guards ever, legitimate at that size to win MVP. Obviously, Steve Nash, Steph Curry, but Curry comes after Derrick Rose, right? Like nobody knew that he would even have that 2011 season was special. I think they were a 60-win team, if I'm not mistaken. You could fact check that for me. Yeah. I think they were a 60-win team. So listen, man, Tibbs knows about winning basketball. Tibbs knows about getting the best out of his players. Tibbs knows about helping slightly above average guys look completely above average, right? Josh Hart, slightly above average. Amazing season. Dante DiVincenzo, slightly above average, has a career year. Let's not forget either. This is no surprise that Dante is shooting the basketball the way he is. For a year, Dante was in practice shooting with Steph Curry and Klay Thompson. So it is not a surprise that this young man has become the shooter that he is today. So, yeah, man, big shout out to Tom Thibodeau, man. Big shout out to Tom Thibodeau and where he's guided us to up 2-0, best of 7 series, first round, 50-win season, 2 seed. Come on, man.
And Carla's in the building. She'll tell you I'm definitely somebody that I'm been a huge critic of Tom Thibodeau. Because I didn't know what he was doing with the kids, but it was tough for him. Like now in hindsight 2020, Obi is not anything. He's exactly what Tom Thibodeau thought. And even putting him in the lineup with Randall how I wanted, I clearly was wrong when Indiana benched him. And what is he really doing in Indiana? A new team. You have Halliburton there. You have all come on now. Enough is enough. And Halliburton's the guy we were supposed to draft instead of Obi. So now you join the guy that you would. So I've had enough criticisms about Tom Thibodeau. The one thing that has always stood out is the respect that he commands. I don't think Doc Rivers commands that respect from everyone or anyone except for what's my guy? What's the guy with the podcast? That's Patrick Beverley. He's the only one that gives Doc Rivers that kind of respect. But all the way down the line, when he was stung or always stood out to me was the way he benched Kemba Walker. The way he benched him was, subliminally telling the front office and everybody, I didn't want him on my team because he's not a defender, number one. You didn't get me a guy that could play defense. He's supposed to be this offensive threat, and he's not cut out for this, bro. No disrespect to him. He's a legend, everything. But I didn't want that. And the way he did it, I've always respected that. And he actually earned my respect in that moment, that press conference.
If you could, while I'm rehashing this real quick, if you could possibly find this clip. The day Kemba Walker lost his job and lost the trust of Tom Thibodeau, we're playing a game against Boston. And we're up 3, something seconds to go. Boston gets the ball on the break, and Marcus Smart gets the ball on the wing. And Marcus Smart walks into a 3 and he ties the game. It's the game at the Garden. I don't know if it's a Saturday afternoon, but when he walks into the 3, when he catches the pass and walks into the 3, Kemba made a play to go to the paint first before he even made a play to come at the ball. And if you watch it, respectfully, we love Kemba, but it was just a bonehead play from somebody who is not used to playing defense. And at that moment, that's when he lost the trust of Tom Thibodeau. He said, I can't play this kid. Marcus Smart hit a tying 3-pointer to tie the game, to send the game into overtime. I believe we lose that game. But it was just a bad defensive play. He didn't get opportunity to really give a great contest. And he got caught in no man's land trying to get into the paint where the ball wasn't even going to the paint. So I'm glad that you brought that up because that is a fact. That is a flat out fact. If you don't give it your all on the defensive end, Tony Allen to this day says Tibbs told him, you will make a lot of money just being a guy that's going to get stops. You will make a lot of money doing that. Tony Allen had some bones in Boston, but once he got to Memphis, first team all defense, when he got there, that's when, but that all starts under the tutelage of Tom Thibodeau. Kevin Garnett wins Defensive Player of the Year. That's not no mistake. KG was a great defender for many years. It's not a mistake that he wins the award while he's playing under Tom Thibodeau, right? So come on, y'all.
And I'll leave it with this, man. This is in response to the final 2-minute report that the league had, and Thibodeau's. This is Thibodeau's response to the NBA saying that basically the 76ers could have got a couple calls reversed, and this is Thibodeau's response to the 76ers fans bitching and moaning.
No, I'm more concerned with the 46-minute report. No, and that's and I mean that. You know, I knew they couldn't call a foul there. I'm watching the way Jalen's being guarded. What, you know? I'm locked into game 3. That's where we are. You know, like we don't get sidetracked with that stuff. You know, I'm just, you know, like I said, I watched the whole game, not 2 minutes worth.
Yo, I'm sorry. See, you guys got Bill Belichick in Boston right now and everything, or this is Bill Parcells. This is, you know, the guy was Bobby Knight. And then you know, updated because he's not as like Bill. This is Bill Parcells all over again. Actually, Bill Parcells used to check anybody, and nobody
and was a player's coach. Like the guys love playing for Parcells, and he would kick you in your ass. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
And just I'm interested in 46 minutes. No way they could have called that. You know, I'm locked into game 3, man. Get out of here with all that. And just again, that's the one thing. No matter how much I criticize him, I'm like, let me see how he comes off in the press conference. Every time I watch him, I'm like, I see no kinks in his armor, bro. Nothing. He's always just, if I come off like just to be the way I come, I would like to see myself. Like, damn, I can't rock him. If I imagine being in practice with him and you talk shit to him, talk ish to him, and he comes back with just this, who are you? I don't care if I didn't win anything or whatever it is. Just his, again, what we talk about. Forget your experience. Forget what you've done. Anything like that is what you're telling me. It doesn't make sense. And when you deliver it like that, like we're talking about the general of a group of men, and people don't want to take that. Take it out however you want to take it. When you got to lead a bunch of dudes or just lead people in battle in general, you want that kind of voice. And I know it sounds like we're going crazy now because we're winning, but it's not true. I've always said that from the jump. Damn, I respect that guy. I really respect him.
Yeah. Basketball junkie, basketball enthusiast, a guy that you'll run through a wall for. Like the guys that could stick around right now as, you know, it's just an influx of new, inexperienced head coaches, right? Brooklyn didn't even keep Kevin Ollie. They went with the other dude. They didn't even keep Kevin Ollie, right? And what I'm saying, I'm bringing this up because for a guy like Tibbs to still be able to maintain a job, for Rick Carlisle to still be able to maintain a job, for Greg Popovich, and everybody all of a sudden hates Greg Pop, for him to still be able to maintain a job within the change that's going on in terms of head coaching in the NBA, right? Like it's clear as day. The NBA, obviously, the league itself, players are getting younger. And so now this attempt to, you know, push out the old guard and usher in the new guard of coaches, which I love. I think we need new innovative minds and new ideas and how to approach the game. You know, for the guys that are able to maintain, you know, their stay in the league is impressive because they are getting you out of here quickly, moving you out of here quickly. And these new head coaches are getting opportunities. Who is the head coach in Toronto? We know his name, but what is his resume? What has he done? Right? He's got, you know, got an opportunity now. Washington, they let Wes Unseld get the job because of his dad, because of his name. Then they bring in Keith and they let him go. So now Washington doesn't even have a coach. So what direction are they going in? You know, that's a conversation that I want to have with you, bro, because, you know, at some point I want to have a conversation about guys skipping the line. People skipping the line.
Well, let's table that one because I want to get into, you know, the YouTube algorithm, hot topics. We ain't playing with you guys. We ain't playing with you, YouTube. I want my money. I want my money. We're not playing with you guys.
Not playing at all.
You said something about the old guard to the new guard, and someone who's in between those guards and really the hybrid of the old and new is Bill Simmons. And I don't know if he's doing playing a Jedi mind trick or what, but he really respects Brunson and this current form of the Knicks. And let's see what he had to say when he was out there. I think he was at the Garden when he made this short.
I'm officially becoming afraid of this guy. I'm becoming afraid of the New York Knicks. I don't know how many games. I'm officially becoming afraid of this guy. I'm becoming afraid of the New York Knicks. I don't know how many games they've won in a row, but I'm afraid of this place right there, Madison Square Garden. I'm afraid of their fans in a series, and the Celtics, who are 11-6 in their last 17, who just throw away games now because they think we're going to get the 1 seed. Philly's a mess, and Embiid's hurt now. Milwaukee's been a mess. They changed their coach. Miami's a mess. We got this. Let's start looking at Denver tape, OKC tape. We're good. We got this. We're just going to cruise to the finals. Please don't feel that way, Celtics, because the Knicks are good. The Knicks have an identity. The Knicks in a series are going to go right after the Celtics like the 04 Pistons. They are going to roll their sleeves up and throw haymakers and be super physical and try to exploit the Celtics' biggest weaknesses, which are toughness and coaching. The two things I worry about the most, the Knicks can exploit. I am taking them seriously. I take the Knicks seriously. Wake up, Celtics.
Heard you, Bill. Heard you, big dog. Heard you. Healthy fear. That just sounds like a healthy fear. That's all.
Shout out to my man Allen. We're going back, bumped into him a couple months back. Told him I was doing a channel. He's been commenting and just loved that.
Big shout out to Allen.
Allen put me on to Bill Simmons. And he said, we always talk basketball. He goes, yo, I think you would like this guy, Bill Simmons. I'm like, who is that? Not realizing I will read some of his stuff on the ESPN 2, I think it was called back then, ESPN, some ESPN back, something. I would say ESPN back page. That is not the same thing.
ESPN got a back page? Molly, where you at? We wildin'.
It's happy hour.
We wildin'.
But I think it was called ESPN. It was something where they used to write. Like a lot of writers used to be up there, like they do their blogs and everything.
Oh,
but
Scoop used to write for it. Damn, I know what you're talking about.
But Bill Simmons was definitely on there. He definitely did Grantland, and even before Grantland, just reading his book of basketball is amazing. His Allen Iverson story is hilarious. It was just ill, just really like some white boy shit. It was some white boy stuff, but because of that, you get to read a lot of what he does. I know people don't like his LeBron take about like his father not being around or something like that. But he again, you talk about the old guard and new guard. He's in between that guard where it's like this fan giving his point of view. And I would think, especially, I thought of you when I saw that. Is that how we would think if we were Celtics fans? Like, hold on. Y'all can think whatever you want about the Knicks, but nah, this is not no walk in the park, man. Look what the fans are saying. When I watched the game, and I had the clip loaded up from his podcast with not Zach Lowe, the other guy, I forgot his name. He's really good too. His recent podcast from yesterday, I think Bill Simmons said, yo, if you watch the Knicks all season, that's exactly how they win games. Like they win those games out, and great teams win like that. The game 2 against Philadelphia. So the 76ers fan can be mad all they want to. You guys got two guys that are really playing basketball. The Knicks have 12 pit bulls out there ready to go for Tom Thibodeau, like we just explained in the first part of the show. Flea, like, do you agree with Bill Simmons? Do you think he's playing a Jedi mind trick? Because I think he does see the flaming that's going on with Stephen A. Smith online. And anybody else who talks about the Knicks, I don't know if he wants that smoke. Or he's used to it already because he's an internet guy. Do you believe him?
I think, first of all, let's start here. Bill is a extremely respected guy in these spaces when we talk the game of basketball. My introduction to him was his book, The Book of Basketball. And I remember, big shout out to my pops. My pops gave that to me for my birthday one year, years ago. And one of the best gifts I've ever received, because it's just a book of respectfully, we love you, Molly. That book of basketball is just amazing, right? So anybody that has never got a chance to just take a look at it, please, it's a good buy, it's a good read, it's an easy read too. It's not one of those complicated reads where your head's gonna start hurting, it's gonna start spinning. You're actually gonna you know, it's gonna be hard for you to put the book down because it's just that it's just that interesting. Do I agree with the quote unquote Jedi mind trick? No, I think he's being honest. I think we're finally earning the respect of people in circles around the NBA, right? I've heard a lot of people, not just Bill Simmons, I've heard a lot of people, even Colin Cowherd's goofy ass. Like, I've even heard him finally say, like, yo, this Knicks team is nothing to sneeze at. You got a game plan for them. You got to put together a solid scouting report for this team and approach them with caution, right? You know, are we devoid of a plethora of scoring? 100%. We rely on Jalen Brunson to put the ball in the basket. But like you just said, we have a roster of about 10 guys right now that if I just snap the leash and let them go, they're going. And they gonna go until we say, hey, come sit down for a second, get a little breather. Get a little breather. Josh Hart played 48 minutes in game one. 48 minutes in game one, but this is regular. This is regular. We've been doing this all season. Do I fear burnout? Do I fear injury? Obviously, all those things can happen, right? We're no exception to the rule. But dog, when I could see Josh Hart go out there, play 48 minutes, and then after game one, look like he could go again. They look like they could suit up and go another 48. Fabian, that's a team that's locked in and ready to rock and roll. They want to play tonight. Can we roll the ball out tonight? Let's go right now. Okay, we got to go Thursday. Okay, cool. But they ready to rock and roll right now. So that's really what I love about this team. And I just feel like Bill Simmons we know he's a Celtic guy. We know he's a Boston guy. I think he's being honest with the fan base that follows him. He know that he has a well-respected mind. And so when he says something, that fan base and the Celtics team themselves are going to listen up. Okay, we can't take this team too lightly. They thumped us to end the season. We went into Boston and thumped them. You forgot that? And everybody was playing. I don't want to hear about they took the foot off the gas. We was on our way to 50 wins. We needed another W. We thumped them. Everybody was rocking and rolling. So I think we said this since the middle of the season, maybe about All-Star break. We match up well with them. We just match up well with Boston. Are they the better team? Yes. Do they have more talent? Yes. Do we match up well with them? Yes, we do. So I'm cool. Let's take this one step at a time. Game 3 is in front of us. One step at a time, day by day. Let's not skip steps. I saw that they, whoever put that on the Megatron, they need to be fired. They put Boston up versus the Knicks on the Megatron. Whoever did that, they need to be fired. No more job. Get by. Unemployment, please apply. Because you can't do that. You can't do that. Let's not skip steps. So that's what I'm feeling about that.
I think I disagree with that. I think the players can't feel that way. And I think he sees what we see. Even with, I see people want to use these 2 games as the reason why Brunson is not a 1A. Okay. We knew this already the whole time. We know what his limits are. Philly is playing. Everyone keeps pointing to Oubre. I don't want to see Batum on Jalen Brunson. I'll get into that tomorrow. I'm really not scared of Oubre the way everybody was talking about.
But Nick is being physical. Nick is being physical. They blitzing. They doing a lot of top locking. We could get into that tomorrow. But I
don't know who will do that for Boston. I'm not remember.
When Brown Holiday lock in, when they lock in, they're defenders. They could defend.
But
Derek White is going. That's it right there.
But we're it's not what the Batum thing is shocking me with Philly, right? Just to keep up with them, walking them down 90 feet. I think Bill Simmons is asking that same question. Do we have someone like Batum that can do that? Yes. Do they do it though? Drew Holiday is the pit bull guy, but is he? I don't know if he is really quite Drew Holiday still. I don't know, because the last time we played him, like you said, we've seen him guard him 90 feet. They tried to guard him. Jaylen Brown had no business trying to guard him. And Bill Simmons is seeing that. He still is. I think it's okay to be that fearful, especially when people are just gassing you up and gassing everything up, saying, yo, the Celtics are unbeatable. They're making it seem like the Celtics cannot be beat. A lot of people are making it come off that way. And I've never felt that way about them. To their peak, I don't think they were Denver at their peak. I don't think they were us at our peak. I personally believe Philly at their peak when Embiid was healthy earlier this year is just unbelievable. And he's an MVP and a dog. That's what Joker is. We don't have that, but we got a dog who's leading a bunch of other dogs. And that's what he's worried about with the Celtics. They're not dogs. Yeah. They're not dogs. Porzingis.
That's a fact.
We know. I got a Porzingis jersey.
So do I.
A Knicks Porzingis jersey.
You'll never see it again. You'll never see it again. You'll never see. I got a white Knicks Porzingis jersey. You'll never see it again.
Me too. And I think that's what he's worried about, and rightfully so. I think we earned the right to be spoken about like that. Except now, my concern, of course, is OG, and we're gonna talk about that tomorrow. But yeah, Bill Simmons. I'm just happy to hear Bill Simmons be Bill Simmons again, and not just be, the Skip Bayless, Stephen A type. And I'm glad to see that.
Bro, listen. The most important thing, and I do agree with you, but the most important thing for me, appreciate you, John Smith.
Yeah, I don't have the game on. I'm sorry. Hold on. Keep talking. I can hear you in my ear.
Yeah, appreciate you, John Smith. The biggest thing I think that he spoke about, and he really brushed over it, but I think that's the biggest thing that stuck out to me. Coaching, man. Coaching. The fact that he is shining a light on Mazzulla and Tibbs going head up potentially in the Eastern Conference Finals. My money is on my team, man. My money is on my team. I think Mazzulla is a good coach, but I think Mazzulla thinks he's a great coach and doesn't know that he's still a novice at this. I think there's a level of arrogance and ego that he carries in terms of coaching. Not so much who he is as a person. I don't know him. But I'm talking about what I see when I hear him talk about the game. Anytime I specifically go and listen to pressers after games with him talking, because I want to hear what he's saying. And he comes off very much so like, I know the game more than any of you do. So don't even ask me nothing that you don't. Don't ask me nothing, because I know more than you. And for a young head coach to have that sort of bravado about him, that gives me cause to pause, because there is a level of humility that you walk around with as a head coach, because you always know that you can be better. You always know that you can be better. So I know that we can outcoach that team. If it comes down to adjustments, coaching, all that kind of stuff, I'm fully aware that we can match that. In terms of talent, that's my concern, because they have legitimately 5 guys on that starting 5 that's gonna go get a bucket. He can go do it.
I like what Carla. Carla's a big Boston Celtics fan, and her secret team is the Knicks. I don't put too much in press conferences, and I think he's humbled. I think he does have a fake confidence, to your point. And also, remember, this is, even though the previous coach is not a championship coach, Ime Udoka to us was, oh my God, we are scared of that guy. Ime Udoka struck
put them in line. If Ime's the coach right now, Fabian, we ain't no smoke. Let's just wait till we get there. Remember what Braun said? What Braun said after winning the Eastern Conference Finals? They asked him about Golden State. He said, "Man, I'm not even thinking about them right now. Like, y'all chill." That's how I would feel if Ime was still on the sidelines. If he was still that head coach, Jesus Christ, I would be concerned about that Celtics team. Extremely concerned about that Celtics team.
You lost the baddie. I wish all Paul was here. He'd be like, pause. But that's how it feels.
Bro.
That's the good. You lost it because we see in Houston, we're like, before the season started, I had him ranked like 10th, and then when you brought it back up, like, wait a minute, Ime's there. They brought Dylan Brooks. They brought this guy's like, oh, wait a minute, I forgot, but that's kind of scary. And
they
then
just missed the plane. They just missed it
without their guy, Sengun is not healthy.
This one,
If Sengun is there, if Sengun is there, who's out of there? There's no Kings playing the Warriors probably.
Fabe,
You know, like
they just missed it. They did everything right. They brought in some adults in that locker room. They bring Ime in there to lead, leaders of men. And I have to stand corrected. Ime has figured out how to get the best out of Jalen Green. In the middle of the season, what was I saying to you, Fabian? I was like, they're gonna move him. How often we could go back and find tape of me saying, yo, they're gonna move Jalen Green. I don't know about that anymore. He's figured out what that kid's strengths are.
the only guy I ever heard even bigging up Jalen Green like that. Oh, Gilbert Arenas is one.
Gilbert, superstar.
Yeah, and that kid Mars from Players Choice, the way he spoke about him was like, yo, I ain't seen you talk about an athlete that could do this, that, and the third. He's like Jordan. I'm like, all right, like what are we doing? And I like that kid Mars from Players Choice because he's very logical and he watches the game.
Yeah, I don't like.
No, okay,
no, I don't like him. But it doesn't matter.
It doesn't. But the way he spoke about him, this is the way Jalen Green came out scared me because I was so wrong about.
I guess it's the English accent because he sounds pompous. That's what it is. Let me just be honest.
Yeah, because I think he knows. He knows the game. But the point is that he got that take right. He got that he's looking like Nostradamus out here, and it's a lot of Ime, a lot to do with Ime, and the fact that if I'm a Celtics person, like Bill Simmons, and you go from what we think Ime is, how we feel about Ime, and also remember we talk about Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown and all their experiences coming from these 4 or 5 conference finals, a finals appearance. That happened with Ime Udoka. That's a different. Remember, Jason Tatum's a 1A. We know that. Ime's a 1A coach, and you're being nurtured by a 1A coach is different than a guy we're not sure about. And yeah, the press conference, you can be fooled in a press conference. I believe like D'Antoni's really good in the press conference, but you don't earn people's respect. You just don't. When we can see it on the court, we can see it the way they play. You don't play no defense, the way they talk about you. I don't know, to your point, if they have that confidence in their coach as players, and as a fan, I wouldn't be sure. But I know with Ime, like you said, as a Knicks fan, I wouldn't be talking no smack if Ime was on the other side of that court. I'm gonna be honest with you, bro.
I'm gonna be honest with you. Ime is on that sidelines. I think a lot of people stop chatting about the Celtics. We just see them when we see them. Like we ain't gonna chat too much. Ime had that team in 2022, had that team in the finals, and legitimately thought that they could win that series. They were up 2-1 in the finals, folks. If y'all forget that, Boston was up 2-1 against Golden State. But that's when that's when Steph said that's your last win.
So
why nobody ever hear from LeBron's daddy? We got to talk about that at some point. Why hasn't he surfaced? 21 years in the league, this dude has not surfaced one time. Why don't we ever hear it? Anyway, I'm sorry.
Maybe he got the message like I heard 50 Cent say that before. Like my father, I don't know who he is, but he better not pop up now.
Like I'm just curious, man, because these dudes, these people pop up. They just pop up.
They do. That is true.
You know what I'm saying, bro? Like
I'm pretty sure Gloria, I'm pretty sure she knows, who.
No, she knows who it is. She knows who it is.
All right,
we'll probably find.
I'm gonna leave that alone. I had a crazy.
Nah, chill. You gotta chill. You gotta relax.
She was 15, 16 when she.
Listen, we'll find out when Gloria sits down with Uncle Shay.
That's not happening. No way that's happening. And that's I'm leaving that alone. Moving right along. Let's get to the thumbnail. Jesus Christ! Wow, I was trying to leave it alone. I was gonna go.
Remember what I said. Remember what I said.
If that happens,
remember what I said, bro.
Never.
Gloria James, the first interview we'll ever see with her is gonna be in front of Uncle Shannon Sharp. Remember what I said.
You saying she
I'm not saying a thing.
Hold on.
Put your glasses back on.
Hold on. You see Carla right here saying, yeah, but he may want to be a freaky frog. You trying to tell me that Gloria, she's trying to make that leap across that JJ?
Yo, I'm not. Hey, YouTube world, I am not indulging in anything that baby.
So the thumbnail says,
oh man,
Charles Barkley calls Kendrick Perkins a roach. All because Kendrick Perkins called him out and said he don't watch games. Him or Shaq don't watch games. So Barkley and Shaq came out here and they called Kendrick Perkins that roach. And they put him on a punching bag. And I ain't gonna play the well, you know, I'll play the volume.
We need him tomorrow night. Here we go.
Go in and out with the volume. Shaq being all goofy. Hey, Roach.
Hey, listen, yo, look, see, you don't need that shot. You don't need the shot. That's your shot. That was your shot today. Well, that's so easy. That's your shot. You gonna kill the rope. You're a professional athlete.
And I think Shaq I think he starts going crazy. He starts going crazy. Like, Shaq, you said listen, you too big, man. I ain't scared of you, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you. And don't even show up to my door with that swing.
We saw what he tried to do with Brad Miller. That didn't happen. We've seen only time I seen Shaq land something was big shout out to Alvin Robertson. He slapped fire, heaven and earth out of Alvin Robertson. Heaven and earth. I'll never forget that one. That's rookie Shaq, I think.
Oh, on the Nets?
No,
Alvin Robertson's on the Spurs.
Now Alvin Robertson was on Detroit at the time. And I guess Lambeer and all of them was beating him up, and he just had enough and slapped fire out of Alvin Robertson. You could find that quickly. Pull that up. That was good.
We don't believe Shaq could punch anybody.
I don't. That's a big dude. So
yeah, like who did he fight in his life?
I mean, he had fights at some point. He was a big doofy. So at some point, he had to let people know, like, yo, it's up. He grew up in San Antonio, too. So Texas, he had to fight at some point.
But I think the Kendrick Perkins...
Don't ever let somebody tell you that Shaq grew up in Newark, because he didn't.
Yeah, he always says that.
Yeah, there you go.
But I think he's... Let me fast forward before that. They be trying to get me on here, man.
3D.
I think he.
There you go.
Oh yeah. Oh right. And he mushes his face crazy.
Nah, it's not. This not a mush.
Oh no. Oh,
that ain't a mush.
Yo, Alvin Robertson. That ain't the guy that's the defensive player of the year, Alvin Robertson, is it?
Yes, sir.
So he got defensive player of the year on the Spurs.
Yes.
So even that punch was kind of like, what are you doing, Shaq? You should have chokeslammed him. He kind of looks like what's homie with the sneaker fad that's on the Clippers, and he can't get off the bench, and he's like
PJ.
Yeah, PJ Tucker. Alvin Robertson kind of looks like him.
Alvin Robertson looks like PJ Tucker and Mr. Commodore. My fault. My fault.
Shout out the coach. Shout out to his brother, the coach.
Shout out the coach.
I find it funny. Kendrick Perkins, I think he did reply. I saw him reply, and maybe this is some Southern thing where he said,
"Carry on." What Perk said?
Nah, he didn't say carry on. Nah, he didn't say carry on. He said
Perk got some one-liners too. Perk might be rivaling Fish. I don't know if Fish is in the building. Big shout out Fish.
I don't know what this means. Maybe I got to translate. Maybe it's too Southern for me. But he said, "Hey, NBA TNT, tell Chuck he ain't ready to get his feet hot with me."
Yeah, he ain't ready to get his feet hot with me. You know how you dance when you boxing? Your feet start getting hot. You know what I'm saying? You light on your feet. You've never had a fight in your life, so I understand.
Yeah, exactly. I wouldn't know. I'm trying to. Neither one of them better not get in no ring. I mean,
neither one throwing jabs like that. Those was nasty.
And when it gets too serious, him calling Kendrick Perkins a roach is hilarious. He said, "I ain't arguing with nobody with 5 points, man. 5 points a game." Barkley's just he don't want it with Barkley because we saw the difference between Draymond Green, who they're trying to make the new Barkley, and the real Barkley. When they were up there, he said, "Yo, that looks like $1,000 suit." Yeah, it looks like it. And Barkley said,
"You know what? I got Speaking of that, guess who asked me the other day? Who? Nobody.
He just
that was great. Like that was great. We love Charles for that. We love Charles for that.
He's too witty. He's too, and he makes fun of himself. Like even remember I always sound like a broken record when that show first started, Shaq almost ruined the show because he was way too serious and took himself too seriously.
Yeah.
And Charles is just like, bro, I don't care. Like, bro, you're gonna ruin the show.
Yeah.
And we know about this because doing the YouTube thing, and we would try, and we have homeboys, friends, peers. We meet people online. There's a certain chemistry that like we always talk about, 4 sportsmen, us. You can't even pay for it. You can't buy this. So Shaq jumping on that show is like, Shaq, yeah, you funny on your own and everything, but that show, number 1 is Barkley, and then number 2 is that chemistry between Ernie, Kenny, and Chuck.
And Chuck, yeah.
And if you disturb it, nah. So now you see Shaq jumping in, being big doofy Shaq, and jumping on Kendrick Perkins, being Shaq, doing his own thing, his own way. That's beautiful to see too. And of course, Kendrick Perkins is down to rumble, the verbal bar as well. And he gets in on a joke. So I love that. Getting his feet hot. It's hilarious.
Kendrick Perkins used to be a regular on Shaq and a Fool. A regular on Shaq and a Fool. That's a good piece. I mean, I know we spent a lot of time talking hoops. We spent a lot of time talking Knicks. You said something, and it would be cool, just to kind of let the people know. I don't know how many people we got in the building right now, but that would be kind of cool to let folks know. Hey, me and Fabian didn't grow up together. We haven't been best friends for 30 years, right? This is not a friendship of longevity. This is a new, continuing, budding friendship. But I'm telling you guys, you would never know that unless I said something, because we just have this impeccable chemistry, as we do with AllBall and Dom. But we have this impeccable chemistry that you can't buy anywhere. You cannot buy it anywhere. So, I thought, I'm glad you said that, bro, because, letting the people know that this is strictly organic. Nothing about this is we put this together for 10 years. Nah, man. Nah. This felt right, and we doing this because we get along well. Our relationship is great, and we love the Knicks. And we love basketball. So
I've been avoiding. I've been so stuck on the production side that I have not looked to poke the bear and go and get Flea crazy and fog up his glasses. No Diddy. I got to get back on my game because I haven't heard Flea curse me out in a while. And now that I'm a masochist, no Diddy. But I need to get this guy going because the show is crazy when Flea is off the wall, and when that Flea thing when we rip it down like Wolverine, it's gonna be crazy. Damn, no Diddy. All that sounds flagrant.
Yo, listen. That's why I said we love this, because guess what? Organically, he's going to piss me off at some point, and sparks will fly. What we got right? What else we got?
No.
Put your glasses back on. No volume.
Why is my camera not working, man?
We got
maybe
you.
I don't know. I'm in the mix. I guess the last thing,
which we got last on the docket,
was this finally we somebody else calls him out.
Oh yeah.
We seen you in the building.
Dial it up.
We seen you in the building, big dog. We ain't
around no brothers and sisters. I couldn't find a brother or sister in sight. In 5 seats to your left, 5 seats to your right, 5 seats to the back. Pause. No brothers and sisters around you. I just wanted to say that.
You saying he went out like Varnell Hill with Martin C. You need some sisters. It look like you need some sisters around you.
Come on, you saw Vaughn. You saw who was feeding him grapes. Come on, Vaughn. Now get some sisters to feed you some grapes, man.
Stephen A. Smith was at the Knicks game, and he's trying to like, bro. He looks so uncomfortable. And shout out to the Dan Le Batard. You know he's poking the bear. He has a fake beef with Stephen A. online. It feels like it's real too. Like they be throwing shots. That's crazy. They hate on each other on the low. Sam Morrell.
And then they sit in front of each other and talk for 2 hours and gush over each other, and then go back to shooting at each other on their own platforms. It's the funniest thing ever. And
he had so Dan Le Batard had this guy. I've seen Sam Morrell on the show before, but he's apparently a Knicks fan. He's a Knicks lifer and commissioner of Knicks fandom. He ain't no damn commissioner of Knicks fandom. Ain't no damn commissioner. I'm sorry to y'all saying that.
And Kendrick Perkins is not the mayor, Tracy Morgan, or the governor, or whatever you coined him.
No. I'll tell you why in a second. I like to run with that. But let's see what Sam Morrell said about
governor.
I'll tell you in a second. Let's see what Sam Morrell said on Dan Le Batard's show about Stephen A. Smith.
Big Einstein, the beauty of what he did last night, and the dude in front of Stephen A., the guy who trashed him, the guy who said some guy named Hardenstein. Some guy named Hardenstein just played his ass off. Knicks fans don't like Stephen A. because they know he's not a real fan. Stephen A., you don't really you don't deserve this with us. You didn't earn it. You weren't down suffering when we were suffering. That's the joy of being a fan. That it feels good because you were there when things weren't good.
I think Sam needs to be our new commissioner of fandom. Yes. That Sam gets to tell you who's allowed to be a fan or not allowed to be a fan of this team.
Does Stephen A. not feel like the villain in every movie? He's like, I don't believe in you. And then that guy makes the game-winning play. That's Isaiah Hardenstein. Oh, some guy named Hardenstein. Oh, now you're cheering for him? You don't get to do that. Stephen A. is like the guy in the movie who calls a girl ugly, and then she becomes hot, and he's like, I always knew you were hot. I always knew it. No, you didn't, dude.
Sam, you can enjoy this without going after Stephen A. all the time.
No, but he's right.
Can I, Dan?
No, he's right. That's a part of Knicks fandom. That right now we're going crazy. Stephen A., get out of here, man. We're gonna remind you every single time. I don't know what made he looks so uncomfortable at the game. Like, where's a picture of him? They have a picture of him in that video.
Yeah, he looks goofy. You from the borough, baby. You from Queens. Queens get the money, man. Look comfortable, man. Sit back and
he's nervous.
Relax, man.
Nah, man. It's different when you're walking through the garden and you're hearing what you're hearing. Because it's one thing to see it online and you don't deal with reality. And your people probably tell you, yo, listen, be careful. They're coming at you. That's all I'm saying. And he's like, I'll be all right. I'm gonna show face. Nah, dog. You were nervous. Because I'm pretty sure there's some things that he heard he didn't want to hear. Because I know what I'm thinking. I know what I'm feeling. This guy Sam Morrell is being nice. Bro, every Knicks fan feels like that about you. So imagine if they get to see you live and direct, you show up to the Garden because you finally approve our winning. If they imagine him walking past you and you sitting down there like, bro, hold on. Get out. He's the logo of a front runner right now for Knicks fans.
Bro, this is the same fan base that told the owner, sell the team. Sell the team. So you think they wasn't going crazy on Stephen A. yesterday? Or 2 days ago, rather? Come on, babe.
And he's the owner who looks up. Yo, this is how crazy James Dolan is. Remember, he's using face recognition technology to get lawyers kicked out from what's the thing down the block from Radio City, because he owns Radio City as well with the MSG thing. So he got lawyers that were a part of a lawsuit against James Dolan and the MSG. The lawyers that were going against him in that case, he had them facially recognized on them cameras and got them kicked out of Radio City. And the fans, us fans know this because that made the front page and everything. And we still told him, yo, James, sell a damn team, bro.
Sell the team. So if you think that the owner was getting smoke, any opposing team comes in there, they getting smoke. It don't matter. So Stephen A gets a pass? Hell no. Stupid A. Smith. I've never heard that one. That was great. I've never heard that one. Rayhan?
100% accurate. Kendrick is a grifter too. He's definitely a grifter, and he thinks he's slick because what he did last year with the Joker, that stance that he took. Kendrick Perkins has had some egregious, horrible takes in basketball history, like bad. You can't talk about the Joker like that. Just he's in everybody's MVP conversation. You spoke about him and these guys still want to vote against the Joker, but I digress. Because the reason why Tracy Morgan saying he's the governor stings that much is Kendrick Perkins gets to go on TV and go, yo, dog. Tracy Morgan said, I'm the governor. I'm from where he's from. Where is he from? Louisiana, Baton Rouge, wherever he's from?
No, he's from Beaumont, Texas.
He's from Texas. And he calling me the governor of your team. And we're on the same show, and all you do is blue and orange skies. It ain't no joke. That's a shot at him. So this is all playful. Hopefully Stephen A does not feel for his life. But I can see how some drunken fans in New York, East Coast fans, we're just crazy, bro. We're crazy. So that face that Stephen A had, I want to ask him if he was in fear for his life. I want to ask him how he felt being at that game. At the very least, like a fraud. You can't be sitting there not hearing that stuff and getting that pat on the back, Varnell Hilling it. You did your thing. We see Kenny. We didn't get to him. We'll get to him in a second. Maybe we won't. I think that was 4 topics already.
Talking about Kenny Beecham?
Yeah, he brought Kenny Beecham to ESPN.
Big shout out to Kenny Beecham.
He
lets us know that it's possible. He lets us know that it's possible. So big shout out Kenny Beecham.
Kenny Beecham is the real like YouTuber basketball extraordinaire over everybody. And he has like 8 channels that are popping on YouTube. But the fact that he has his numbers on the board thing on ESPN is amazing. And a part of that bridge of him getting there is Stephen A. Smith. So he's like what I told you yesterday. He's like the necessary evil because the things that he says sometimes is just like, what? Like you're so off base, it's out of touch with your people, bro. It's insane. You're from New York.
I don't like that he's in that position because he is not a guy that I feel like is a guy that will reach back. I feel like the way he pounded the pavement, he expects every other person that wants to get in his position to pound the pavement. And for the forefathers that did the work, you got to reach back and pull up some of them. So if is he pulling up Kenny Beecham? Great. I don't think that you can equate reaching back and pulling up former athletes, right? Like he has all of these guys, he takes pride in saying, they on the show because I said they need to be on the show, right? So all of these guys, whether that's Dan Orlovsky, Ryan Clark, Marcus Spears, Kendrick Perkins, JJ Redick, like the list goes on. Robert Griffin, like
Monica McNutt,
Monica McNutt, like all of these different people, right? Which is great, but they already had a foot in the door. They already had their foot in the door.
But I got to push back on because look, I remember when we wanted KD and Kyrie, Stephen A went on to fake begging KD to sign with the Knicks. It was pathetic, right? And also the whole thing with him and Kyrie, that's what rubs everyone the wrong way, and it did. But we live in a YouTube world also where it's like he sees that working, so he kept going, finding a way to keep bringing it up during the pandemic. That's what he was going for. And it's like, again, that's why I say it's a necessary evil because who else is bringing Kenny Beecham up there? Who else has that many black faces on First Take? When it was Skip up there, it was something like that, but he got popping black faces on there. Popping. Them other dudes ain't popping. Kenny Beecham from YouTube is crazy. They remember ESPN would rather go, okay, Shannon Sharp, you cross the threshold, you good money. Monica McNutt being up there is a big deal. Kenny Beecham being up there is a big deal. Big deal. Anybody else?
I mean, he just needs to continue to bring the culture. That's all I got to say. There's Cam and Mace should have been on First Take at some point by now. Why haven't they? I don't know. I don't think Disney's co-signing that. Cam and Mace is too, bro. The way Mace talks is very
Remember, they don't got conservative guys up there on ESPN, and May speaks very conservatively. The stuff that he says is like, ooh, I don't know. We could.
But Dan, when Dan was doing the show with Poppy and Bomani Jones, they used to have a lot of different guys up there, right? And being able to speak freely, not curse and go crazy, but the content of what they was talking about was very freeing. So, you know, and that was ESPN, you know, with Pat McAfee now, and that's in middle of the day, like middle of the morning, even middle of the day, middle of the morning at 11 a.m., 12 noon Eastern time. If you pop on ESPN and watch Pat McAfee, there might be a couple F-bombs dropped. There might be a couple, you know, it is what it is. So I'm just saying.
No, hold on. Stay right there. Yeah. Speaking of conservative, Aaron Rodgers is on there talking the most diabolical conservative side you could possibly do. So yeah, you're right.
You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I just think you know, continue to bring the culture, and it's not like he doesn't. So let me not act like he doesn't. You're absolutely right, brother.
And he went on Cam and Mason's show when they first started, when they had the old studio. Like that's all major, and I can't front on him on that. Like it's the conflict with Stephen A. where it's like, bro, there really hasn't been anybody like him on TV the last 14, 15 years. Become a superstar of talking about sports. You went from reporting this one. Like, I get every critique about him, the Kyrie thing, everything. The way he talks about the Kwame Brown thing, which everyone thought was funny initially until he came out and went ballistic a couple years back. I get it. But we have to harp on you, Stephen A. We're calling you out for being a fake fan. We gave you your props and everything. You look crazy in the front row. You didn't look popping, all that, and then you talk mad loud. And there was none of that on that. How are you, bro? Did you see John Starks? Did you see Latrell Sprewell? Even Melo with the fake coolness had to get out of there with all that. Stephen A., we ain't see none of that. What are you hyped about? You ain't no real fan, bro. You should have been. If it was me, that's what I'm saying about the fake, loud, fake rah-rah. Stephen A., you from Queens too, man. Come on, bro.
You sat down the whole time. If you're a real Knicks fan, you're not there covering the game. You're not there doing any reporting. You had an extra seat from Mark Shapiro, who is your agent. Let's keep it a buck. Like, let's tell the whole truth. Who you were sitting next to is Mark Shapiro, your agent. You wasn't fraternizing with the people. You wasn't outside. That's what pissed me off. You courtside and you not outside. You a Knicks fan. We're about to go 2-0 in the series. You talk all this orange and blue skies garbage on national TV. Now you in the building. Stand up on your feet. Clap or something. You sitting there being cool. Again, next to no brothers and sisters. Around none of the culture. Why is all the culture sitting next to each other but you? Anyway.
I love it.
Melo, Spree, Larry Johnson, Bernard King, Starks, Tracy Morgan, Fat Joe. You're not around none of the culture. Nah. I saw no enthusiasm from you. You're a fan, right? No enthusiasm. None. And snuck your goofy ass up out of there.
Before we go, I definitely want to get this one up there because we got close to 100 people in the building on YouTube, over 300 on Twitter. Damn. Appreciate you, Dom, through the Dom Rapper channel. Y'all are going crazy. Stephen A. Smith is the new Michael Rappaport. Hilarious. Kenny Beecham on ESPN now. The famed YouTuber, numbers on the board on ESPN. He was on ESPN talking about Kevin Durant and the Phoenix Suns and how they might be like the worst front office moves in history, I believe.
Kenny, which would be the bigger disappointment if bounced first round?
Easily, the Phoenix Suns.
Okay.
This team has Devin Booker and Kevin Durant, and you're trying to tell me if they lose, they'd have one playoff series win, and it was when Kawhi Leonard went out with his injury. That's it. One of the most expensive teams in basketball, we can get one series win. And the big thing about it is that with the Dallas Mavericks, if they lose in the first round, there's ways to tinker this roster to get better. Because we're over the second apron in Phoenix, and because we're so much in the luxury tax, we already paid Grayson Allen, there's no real way to make this team better. Nobody's going to be lining up for Bradley Beal's guaranteed $100+ million over the next couple of years. So it's either you keep Kevin and Devin and run it back, or you have to make the decision between those two.
Well, listen, you can look at it that way. That's one of the ways.
I'm not sure if he said it there, but he definitely said it here. I knew it was going to be a graphic. They got Kenny on the quote. So the quote, if the Suns don't make it out of the first round, it is one of the biggest failures a front office has done over the last 20 years. What do you think about that? One of the biggest failures in the front office in the last 20 years?
I didn't know you had this dialed up, or, you know, Big Flea would have did his homework. You know, I like to come prepared, so I appreciate you throwing this one at me and testing me a little bit. Last 20 years. So if we go back, let's just say 2000. The last 20 years, any other... Well, I mean, if we go back to that 04 situation with the Lakers, I mean, there was intention for that, right? You got Gary Payton to play 82 games. He played the entire season. If you go back and look, Gary was ready to go every night. Obviously, Shaq got hurt. Carl played half the season. Carl literally played 41 games and then was ready towards the middle of the playoffs. Kobe was in and out of the lineup with injury that year too. That's one I can think of. I would have to sit down and think about that, but just for the conversation, I don't think that you can just go into these things thinking that you have three of the best players on the court at all times, that constitutes winning. I just don't think it works like that anymore. Y'all are playing in a series right now against the best defensive team in the NBA. I don't really care if y'all got it going or not. There's no offensive cohesion within that Phoenix Suns team right now. Is that due to them not having a traditional point guard? Maybe. But they do not run anything. They don't run a thing. Yo, Kev, it's your turn. Hey, Book, you got this one down. Brad, you need some? Right? Like, there's no offensive cohesion to what they're doing over there. And shit, Minnesota is really like packing the paint on some old school shit. They packing the shit out the paint. And if these guys don't shoot it well, they're not going to win. They're not going to win. Nobody had over 20 points last night for their big three. Nobody. So, yeah, I would. I don't know if I agree with Kenny because I would have to do a little bit of more homework because I know there's some other deals out there that are just like, what happened with that? But absolutely a disappointment that they didn't figure this thing out as the year went on. And I don't think they have the right coach. That's just me.
I 1000% disagree with him. There's no way I'm a Knicks fan and think that that's the worst front office job in the last 20 years. Impossible. What is he talking about?
You got to have one, though. I mean, what you got?
That's nowhere near the top.
What you got?
With the way we traded for Carmelo, I'm going there first. And if you want to go even,
I'm out of here. Wrap this up. Wrap this up. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?
The way what's even worse than that was the trade. How we traded everybody for. We traded Nene for.
You have no. Forget all that. You really sat here, had time to think about other moves while I ran my mouth, and the first move you come up with is Carmelo Anthony.
He's a superstar guy in the same ilk that they're talking about, where you have to fit everything together, and it didn't work. Period. And they didn't get rid of they didn't amnesty Chauncey Billups, whoever it was that year when it came along
the trade. God, we get Melo on here, man. I can't wait for Melo to come on here.
Melo's gonna roast me, and I love, I think he's the up and coming, one of the best podcasters in the game.
7 p.m. in Brooklyn is an excellent podcast. Sorry.
Because of him. I'm hating because of him. Christian Castillo with the Bargnani trade was crazy. That era was insane. The Phil Jackson era. And again, this is not Carmelo Anthony's fault at all. He was done dirty by Phil Jackson. That front office, insanely bad. What? And we drafted Porzingis. And he still messed up. He hired Derek Fisher.
We drafted Frankie Nicotine.
We hired Derek Fisher. What is this guy Kenny Beecham talking about? Derek Fisher, bro, is worse than Darvin Ham.
Yes.
Worse than Darvin Ham with the Lakers.
Yes. Yes.
That none of this, we could break down the last 20 years of the Knicks up until now, and it's been way worse than the Phoenix Suns. You kidding me to trade for Kevin Durant? Nah, man, this is nowhere near it.
But the level of, I think what Kenny is getting at is the level of expectation that this Phoenix Suns team has is, leans towards more of a failure of a season.
Whose expectation was that? Number one team,
the
okay,
casual,
but they were going to compete for a
basketball
championship.
fan who's watching the game and sees Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, and Bradley Beal on their team. A Phoenix Suns fan right now, if you called them right now and asked them, did they have championship aspirations at the beginning of the season? They will say yes. They will say yes.
I'm going to give you another one that's even worse than that.
Okay.
Trading Jordan Poole instead of Draymond Green. Just the last 3 years of the Golden State Warriors is trash. Though they instilled hope into the Phoenix Suns. This trading Jordan Poole and the handling of Draymond Green is a debacle compared to instilling hope into your franchise. Real hope over the summer, getting Bradley Beal. That's real hope. That's not messing up. The front office did their job with the new owner. That new owner doesn't know what the hell he's doing. He doesn't know what he's doing.
He's about to be forced to sell too, by the way. I don't know if you read that. He's about to be forced to sell.
Why is that?
I didn't get into the minutia of the whole thing, but
I like that word. What?
Yeah, he's about to get forced to sell. I read that somewhere.
After getting chokeslammed by the MVP last year. Yeah.
Because he got rid of Isaiah Thomas as a special advisor for some reason. There was something going on with him having Zay as it's gonna come out. It'll come out soon. We'll hear about it.
But this is really?
Yeah, this was I read this recently. If somebody's in the comments, they could kind of back up what I'm saying. Because I know I'm not talking out of left field.
Matt Ishbia, Suns owner. Let's Google this real quick.
Yeah. I read something.
Is running his projected to payroll with another he purchased. I don't see anything so far.
Okay.
He's trying to get it. He would love to get his hands on an NFL team in due time. And that was in February.
Okay.
17 hours ago, Adrian Wojnarowski is talking about how he's running the projected luxury tax because of the Bradley Beal deal, the extension with Grayson Allen.
Oh, with Grayson Allen giving him that extension. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a heavy payroll over there, and you have a fairly novice GM in James Jones and a fairly novice owner in Matt Ishbia. So they got to get creative. And the way the CBA is set up now, and you got to earn your check.
Well, James Jones is no novice, I don't think, anymore. I think he created a good situation over there and whatever. But going back to the list, if you're a Washington Wizards fan, worst front office move up, and I'm gonna do you even one better. The former, this is the cream of the crop that just pops into my brain. The former Phoenix Suns coach is currently embroiled in the worst front office in NBA basketball right now.
Fabian perspective, expected, so accepted. Big Flea, Knicks Rehab. Appreciate everybody that tapped in tonight. We love y'all.
You can't do that. And that front office is
you got to be kidding me.
Wait. You read about them. That Detroit front office is not Monty Williams' fault. I'm not even trying to blame him. They have a bunch of nepotism and all kind of stuff going on over there in Detroit.
Yeah, well, they hired Troy Weaver. They hired Troy Weaver, and Troy Weaver was, he was supposed to kind of clean up that mess over there. He was the assistant GM to Sam Presti out in OKC. So Troy, you know, he knows his way around it a little bit. He's back. No, he's not back home. Troy is from he's a DMV guy, DC area. He knows the game. I'm just saying, give that a moment. They were a bad team this year. Give that a moment. That's gonna turn. Give that a moment. That's where I stand. I'm not about to step on the back of Troy Weaver and Monty Williams. Give that a moment.
I'm going to step on the back of the Detroit Pistons front office messing up and looking crazier than the Phoenix Suns, even if they lose in the first round.
I mean, that's fine, Fabian, but you're talking about a team that has some of the cream of the crop on their roster. I don't care how you slice it. The expectations of their fan base and their casual fan says, yo, this team should find a way to be, you know, championship contenders. It just is what it is. We know that compilation of players ain't gonna cut it. It's just not. It's not a good compilation. They're all individually great players, but put together it might not work. And you see it right now. They down 0-2.
The first headline with Troy Weaver from Fansided. 3 reasons bringing back Troy Weaver will be problematic for the Detroit Pistons. Very perspective expected to accept it.
Now he wants to end it on that. Go to hell, baby. Go to hell.
Oh, we live. Oh, we live. AllBall TV. They scared, but I'm not. They don't like comentario.
Y suscribe.